Stefanski. Stefanski, a two-time NFL Coach of the Year. He went 45 and 56 in 6 seasons in Cleveland. GM Andrew Berry will remain in place. He will lead the search for the Browns' next head coach. Let's react, first of all, to this news that came down about an hour ago from Adam Schefter. No more Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland. What do you think, Dio?
He's going to get a job in the NFL next year as head coach. I think he's that good of a coach.
Head coach?
Oh, yeah. He's absolutely going to get opportunity, 100%. I've been outspoken. If I was the New York Giants, it would be one of the names on the top of my list to be a coach. This dude's a good coach, man. He gets competent quarterback play. He's a good head coach. He has just had a ridiculous run of all these kind of fill-in quarterbacks that have been the storyline for the past 2 or 3 years.
I'm sorry. I call BS on that.
Why?
And I'm going to tell you why. I'll give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
Right? His quarterback goes down. Let's even go back a couple years ago. Jimmy Garoppolo goes down. Insert who? Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy goes down this year. Insert Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Did the offense take any type of hiccup? Stop.
Well, Cam,
you didn't even mention Trey Lance.
For sure.
Okay, but that offense didn't look good under Trey Lance. One, Mac Jones is an ex-first-round pick and a guy who's had a lot of success, not a lot of success, but success in the NFL. Okay, number one. Number two, it's as talented. You got one of the great players in the league in McCaffrey.
Right.
So, we're talking about different groups. Cleveland's offense, not nearly as talented as San Francisco's. But you put Baker Mayfield in that offense when they had some success, they go to the playoffs and win a playoff game. You put Joe Flacco in that offense, a veteran who's a successful starting quarterback, and they've got some good talent around them, they win a lot of football games.
But the frustration to me comes with Kevin Stefanski not being able to develop young players.
Well, what young player did you want? Well, he's developed young players, maybe not young quarterback. Which young quarterback did you want him to develop?
The ones that's on your roster. The ones that you went out and drafted. The ones that you have to go out and win with or put your team in the position to win. We're talking Dylan Gabriel. We're talking SHEDEUR Sanders. Those are obvious names. When you hire a guy like Kevin Stefanski, first and foremost, he's an offensive mind.
Yep.
The offense for the Cleveland Browns were in the bottom half of the wrong position or in the wrong statistic.
Yep.
What'd you say?
Don't let it be
Don't
you.
let it be you. If you're the guy that's supposed to bring offensive brilliance, and when we looked at Cleveland over this year, it was not offensively. You have a guy who is now the new sack king, and they have given you opportunities.
But they don't have any talent.
We're kind of weaving around the problem. This all started when the Cleveland Browns acquired Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Yes.
If Deshaun Watson is the player that he was in 2019 in Houston, we're not having this conversation.
Right.
Now it goes to whose fault was that? Is that something you blame on Kevin Stefanski when we've seen Kevin Stefanski be the coach of the year twice? Mike Tomlin, who we all revere, has never been the coach of the year. John Harbaugh, who we all revere, has never been the coach of the year. Kevin Stefanski can coach at that level. Do I think that Kevin Stefanski should be out? I do. I do think Kevin Stefanski has not necessarily underachieved, but this team is not going in the right direction with him. But it's not about developing young talent. When you talk about Dylan Gabriel, you mentioned SHEDEUR Sanders, he didn't have enough time for either of those players to reach their full potential under Kevin Stefanski. Now, you may think he mishandled the situation, and people are going to go back to that SHEDEUR Sanders should have been drafted earlier. Maybe he shouldn't have been fourth on the roster or started the season at 3. But that's not all a Kevin Stefanski call. Kevin Stefanski is a coach who I do believe will be on the top of head coaching list, but he shouldn't be Cleveland's head coach anymore. Yeah. Cleveland made the right decision.
That's fair.
Cleveland made the right decision. You said something that I thought was asinine. It's automatic that he's going to be a head coach in the league next season. No, it isn't. And I'm going to tell you why. 6 seasons in Cleveland, 13 quarterbacks. Somewhere along the way, do I not get to look at you as a head coach and say, could you find somebody? Could you find anybody? I'll throw the names out for you. I got them right in front of me.
Okay.
Case Keenum, Nick Mullins, Deshaun Watson, Jacoby Brissett, Baker Mayfield, Joe Flacco, P.J. Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Jeff Driscoll, Jameis Winston, Bailey Zappi, Dylan Gabriel, SHEDEUR Sanders. Okay, I get that it's a tough list. I understand that. But you're talking about 3 or 4 people in there that could help you look a little bit better than you looked. Excuse me. If you had kept Baker Mayfield, it might have happened. Wait a minute. You can say it's Kevin Stefanski. If you're telling me he has no say, if you're telling me a 2-time coach of the year is forced to be mute, and have no impact whatsoever, I'm with you. But if he has a voice, then I got to look at him and say, well, damn it, how come these cats going in and out? I got to look at Deshaun Watson. We know what you were in Houston. We understand the distractions off the field. We get that part. But my God, the fall from grace on the field, how that happened? It was on your watch, meaning you were coaching them. I mean, listen, I'm not holding anybody accountable more than Deshaun Watson. That's on him. But I'm saying along the way, you being the two-time coach of the year, this precipitous drop-off happened on your watch. You knew what the situation was with him off the field when y'all acquired him and gave him $230 million guaranteed. And that's not Stefanski. Of course, that's ownership, Haslam, and we get that part. But again, I'm not talking about Deshaun Watson in terms of him not being great. I'm talking about him literally falling off. I mean, a disaster. That was on your watch.
Okay.
And then I look at Jacoby Brissett. Listen, he ain't great, but damn it, he ain't a scrub. I'm just looking at some of the stuff that you got and you're working with. That's on your watch. You the coach. So what I'm saying is, yeah, he could be a head coach again. He's a two-time coach of the year. I'm not here to question his coach. I'm not qualified to question his coaching acumen. I'm talking results.
Yeah.
And when you 8-26 over the last 2 years, and you got 13 quarterbacks over the last 6, and you can't seem to find anything offensively that works, when offense is supposed to be your background, that's a problem.
Okay, so
that's a problem.
The Baker Mayfield point, if we go in real time and we say, if you're the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson, the way that Deshaun was playing right now, at that moment, at that point, right decision. As much as I love Baker Mayfield, and I love him, Deshaun as a player was a better player in that moment, so that was the right choice.
You all agreed with that.
Jacoby Brissett left as a free agent. Joe Flacco left as a free agent. It's not all those other guys that you rattled off.
I'm only talking about him as a head coach being able to find that one person.
But you're rattling off all these quarterback names. But none of those guys have become players.
Because he's departed after 6 years, and not one time have we been able to look at him with a quarterback and say, wow.
The point is this. Here's the first thing. Finding 32 of them that are really good at it is an extremely difficult thing to do. That's why we have coaching, hiring, and firing cycles every single season. You go back to 2020, this team seemed to be on a different trajectory. You go into Pittsburgh and you win a playoff game with Baker Mayfield. Yeah. The next year, Baker Mayfield, he descends a little bit, 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. They decide to make a decision. That's the right decision. At that point, if you could get Deshaun Watson,
you could justify it.
You take Deshaun Watson. He was that good. The last time we'd seen him, it was one quarterback in the world better than him, and that was Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. That's the decision you make that you think changes your organization. When that doesn't work, it sets you back. You find Joe Flacco. You get to the playoffs again with Joe Flacco. He leaves because he wants to be a starter based on what he was able to do in Cleveland. I'm not saying he should still be there. What I'm saying is he can really coach football. And there aren't enough people where you're going to be able to dismiss him by what you've seen this year or about what happened with Deshaun Watson.
All I'm saying is, can any of y'all sit here with a straight face and say, take away everything else because the man's a two-time coach of the year? Can you look at Kevin Stefanski and say, I trust him with our quarterback?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Hell no. You lying.
Absolutely.
13 different quarterbacks. I don't care what the name on the back of their jersey says. That has to be said to something. When you have guys in this league, Mike Tomlin, Kyle Shanahan, the list goes on. Sean McVay. Some have some more solidified quarterbacks than others. But when you have that many quarterbacks and it's on you to make the right decision, all the decisions has not been conducive to what we need to do.
It's hard to play quarterback in that league. You know that. It's really hard to play quarterback in that league as a backup or a supplemental player when you don't have talent around you. And Cleveland has not had necessary talent.
It's hard to do anything in Cleveland forever. And eventually history has to change or it doesn't. But as an organization, they need to do something differently.
I agree with that.
I just believe putting everything on Kevin Stefanski as the failure of this organization just isn't true. And in the right place with the right people, I believe he could be successful again.
I think that's understandable. Not everything will fall on Kevin Stefanski. It's the contract of Deshaun Watson that felt like set them back a gazillion years.
He got a lot.
A lot that set them back. But maybe you build around Myles Garrett and you focus more on defense. Look what the Houston Texans are doing. I don't know. There's other ways to skin a cat. Coming up here on First Take, the Seahawks locked up the 1 seed in the NFC. But wait until you hear what someone here is saying about Sam Darnold heading into the